we're gonna talk about the kinds of practice. We have two types of practice. The first type is controlled practice, and the second type is free practice. When we come to define these terms, they refer to the types of exercise we use in our English classes. Number one, controlled practice means that you design a specific type of exercise in which you want your students to respond in a certain way. For example, that requires, of course, a specific answer. For example, you can give them fill in the space exercise, or repetition drilling. You can give the students, for example, you can give them, if you're talking about a past simple, if you're dealing with the past simple tense, you can say, where did you go yesterday? You ask your students to repeat this example. Repetition, choral repetition, group repetition, individual repetition. Then you give the answer using the past form of the verb, and you ask your students to repeat in the same way, chorally, in groups and individually. Okay, then you can ask your students to ask and answer. This is using this structure. This is what we call controlled practice. Okay, you can also ask your students to fill in the gaps using some words in a box or in you have already given them before. Now let's move on to the second type, which is free practice. In this type of exercise, the students are asked to practice the language freely with no restrictions. They can practice the language in the same lesson, or they have just learned, or the language they have learned previously. Okay, such as class debates, such as role playing, such as writing a paragraph or writing an essay on something. Finally, I hope you got my point. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.